Hello, my name is Christina Alciati from Too Old to Tumble, and I'm a fitness coach. I work with fellow Generation X's, and I help them reclaim control of their body, stop the middle age spread, and feel ageless again. And today, what I'm going to talk to you is about the myth that people don't have enough space to exercise in at home. And that is a lot of the time that is not true. And I don't work in gyms. I used to work when I used to do see clients in person. I used to go to their homes. So I've been to a variety of homes. I mean, some people were very lucky. They had like home gyms, like a whole building dedicated to exercising, whereas other people lived in a small place like I do, and therefore had to make do with what they had. And I can assure you that the body transformations that happened in every case had nothing to do with the amount of space available, but it had everything to do with the person's attitude and commitment to make improvements to their health and well-being and their fitness and their weight and the way they looked and everything. So the first consideration that I would make is whether you can find a space within your home that you can designate for exercise. And we're going into a little bit of classical conditioning if you want, maybe if you want to look at it like that, but just imagine this is what we're doing if you're familiar with that concept. So the idea being that if you have an area that you can designate just for exercise or exercise and something else, then it's brilliant because you can perhaps set it all up permanently so that you remove that barrier. So you don't have the excuse, oh, I need to set it up, I can't be bothered. It's already all set up. So all you have to do is do the exercises that you said you were going to do, but you're trying to find excuses not to do. So that is the ideal situation. And yes, and do have it set up if you can. Have all your, or at the very least, if it's an area that doubles up as something else, like an office or a dining room or something, make sure you have all your equipment already in there. So all you have to do is just literally dig it out and get going in less than 5 minutes. Now, the amount of space that you need is really not a lot. I work with clients, we had the most amazing transformations in the space of a rug, because that's all we had. Between the coffee table that we pushed against the sofa and the next wall, there was just literally enough space for a rug. And that's what we use, and that's what helped these clients actually get the most out of the workouts that they were doing. But obviously weight loss is not just about the workouts, is it? It's exercise is the least important thing in the list of priorities for fat loss or for just body transformations to improving your health. It's important, but it's the least important. There are other things that are way more important than exercise. But you still have to do it because the metabolic benefits from exercising regularly and doing structured exercise are so good that you don't want to miss out on them. So really, all you have to do is have a look around your place. If you can't find a space that you can designate as an exercise area, then have a look. Just if you have carpet as opposed to hard floor, I have hard floors everywhere, so I had to actually make the space with rubber mats. But if you have carpet, then you don't really necessarily have to find much else. You already have something to protect you as you exercise. Perhaps not ideal because you can get burns, but again, it's not a problem. It's not a big problem anyway. And summer, it's never too far away, summer. And you can always go out in the garden if you have a garden. Yeah, so have an idea also as to what you want to do. Because if you have a very small amount of space, you can do anything like classic bodybuilding workouts. They really don't require a lot of space or equipment, but you do need some. If you want to do something a bit more extravagant, like perhaps you want to do something like yoga, you can do a lot of yoga in a small space, in the space of a yoga mat. It's okay. If you want to do something a bit more extravagant, like maybe animal flow, quadrupedal movement, then you're gonna need a lot of space. So beware, make sure of that. And the other thing, the other consideration you want to make when you're trying to figure out where you're actually going to be exercising, and this is important, especially if you're in the process of redesigning your home, rearranging the furniture. How can you do that so you have a space that is just for you, where you can do these things in peace without people photobombing, without any home space invasions, so that you can have a little bit of privacy and a little bit of me time. That space is for you, it's for your workouts. When you're in there, nobody's going to interrupt, nobody's going to come and bother you. And that is also a very important aspect of an effective workout, making sure that you are not interrupted, that you can focus 100% on what you're doing, because otherwise you're going to have lame results. The workout is going to be lame, you're going to have lame results, you're not focusing, you're focusing on the other person or giving answers, and your form will probably go out the window. You're not going to be working as intensely as you would if you were able to concentrate on what you're doing. So that's another consideration: space for you, privacy, no interruptions. And so I'm going to show you in a minute the exact amount of space that you need to exercise. You'd be surprised. And I have a tiny dining room, which is an insult to dining rooms in the world, call it that, because it really, if you put a table in that room, you either have people or the table. That's how small it is. But I actually managed to do fitness photo shoots in that with two people. I managed to do fitness photo shoots in that room to illustrate what you can do. Now, before I show you that, let's talk about equipment as to what you need. And the list is, grab your pen and paper, and I'll give you a list of what you need to make an effective workout from home. Nothing. You need absolutely nothing. You just need the willingness to get up and do it. And that's it. That's all you need. However, if you want to make it better and make it easier, perhaps, again, if you have hard floors, the least you need is a rug, or you can have a yoga mat. And that is literally all I use with a lot of people, just the space of a yoga mat on the floor. And you can do all sorts of body weight exercises. You can practice your handstands over there and do your handstand press-ups upside down. You can do your squats. You can do cardio in the space of a yoga mat, because you can do your running on the spot. You can do your star jumps. You can do all sorts of things. Mountain climbers. You can do your burpees. You can do your jumping jacks. Anything. It's a lot that you can do in the space of a yoga mat. You can do, obviously, all the body weight exercises, your push-ups, your squats, your lunges, your switch jumps, and you can do your bridges. You can work on your bridges. You can do some stretching. And don't underestimate how powerful a body weight workout can be. Don't imagine that you need all sorts of crazy equipment to get fit. Most people don't use crazy equipment unless they have to develop a very specific deficiency in their physique. Most athletes they won't necessarily use weights, because it's really not necessary to get a great physique. It is necessary if you want to get a certain look. It's easier with the weights, but don't let that be another excuse to not get up and do a workout. As a minimum, if you want to look at equipment, you need a pair of dumbbells. They're about 30 quid, a good set, a nice easy set. They're about 30 quid from the big sports store, or you find them online anywhere. But you really don't need much more than that, because once you get past a certain amount of weight that you can lift, then you might as well go to a gym where you have everything is in there already. They got more specialized equipment. But as a minimum, as a beginner, somebody can maybe never exercise because you always felt that you didn't have enough space, just a simple set of dumbbell will do, and the Swiss ball. that you can use as a bench. That's it. You can use the Swiss ball to practice your handstand as well, do various exercises, which I'm not going to show you. But yeah, so that's essentially basically all that you need. You don't need anything else. And then on top of that, obviously, on top of your exercises, what you can do, on top of your structured workouts, you can go and for walks. Again, that is free of charge. You don't need any equipment, you just need to get out the door and go for a walk. And that is probably more important, even more important than doing a workout as such. So as you can see, I'm just going to banish a lot of excuses already in a very short space of time, because we all learned in the last 2 years, and when I'm recording this is December 2021. So we all had a good 2 years of the COVID stuff. We're all fed up. We all learned the hard way the importance of maintaining good health, because when you are in good health and you catch COVID, it lasts a couple of days and then it goes away. If you're not in good health, unfortunately, we've seen what the consequences can be. So as I mentioned earlier, exercise is the least important part of your self-care routine, and not even talking about fat loss here, but just health and wellness. It's probably the least important aspect, but it is very important because there are some metabolic benefits from doing structured exercise. It helps you balance your metabolism. Once your hormones are balanced, you don't feel like eating as much crap. You don't feel like eating crap at all. In fact, you can control your hunger, you can control your cravings, and that in turn helps you control your weight. But most importantly, it helps it doesn't make you want to eat foods that work against your health and can affect your digestive tract, which is where your immune system resides. And therefore, as you pay attention to these things, you're just making your immune system stronger, and therefore you're less likely to catch things like COVID. And if you do, because your barriers are not strong enough to keep it out, once it gets in, you're going to be in a better position to fight it off. And so really do consider taking exercising at home seriously. And then again, it's another barrier. You don't have to get dressed to go to the gym. Why not, if it's warm enough in your house, why not exercising in your pajamas, or even less? You know, it has been known in the summer when it's really, really hot, you know, birthday suit is perfect for exercising in hot weather. Nobody's going to see you. Yeah. And yet it's another excuse gone. So no need to go to the gym, no need to get out, no need to get dressed, no need to find something that doesn't make your bum look big, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's just removing obstacles that are mostly in your head, obstacles that are in your head. So anyway, I've been rabbiting on as usual, and without further ado, I shall hit pause, and I'm gonna turn the camera around and I'm gonna show you the amount of space that you need to exercise. Actually, I'm gonna show you too what I do it, and how you can exercise in a very small space. And I'm back. Turns out I can't turn the camera around if I'm recording. So anyway, so this is the amount of space that you need to exercise. As you can see, I have a problem. There's a cat that's taken over the yoga mat, but let me see if I can show you better. I'm not very good at this, but this is the amount of space. The space of a yoga mat, that's my Swiss ball, then my dumbbells, and that's my personal trainer right over there loafing in the middle of the yoga mat, as you do because you're a cat. Now, in addition to this, I also have a static bike, which I hardly ever use, I must admit. But that is the amount of space in the room. And I think it's the camera, the lens on the camera that makes it look a bit bigger than it is. Trust me, it's not big at all. But yeah, that is the amount of space that you need to exercise. And you can imagine, if you use your imagination, that's you can do squats in that length of time. It is a long yoga mat, I must admit, but you can quite happily, and this is the room where I did the photo shoot, the fitness photo shoots. Honestly, it's amazing what you can do. when you put your mind to it. And I really love that reflection on the wall. Your imagination is pretty much the limit, but don't let this be a reason not to have a go. You know, I said earlier that you could have an area that you designate for exercise. I did this with the front room because I don't spend a great deal of time at home, and I love to do animal flow. For that, I need a little bit more space than the tiniest dining room in the world. So I put down the interlocking mats in the front room, which is being used as a gym. That is the best use I could make of it. I hate furniture and I hate spending time in that room. So, but yeah, so I don't have any more excuses. I mean, sometimes when I'm not really feeling it, it's, you know, it's a bit of an effort to move the little coffee table. That can be a pain. But apart from that, it takes like 2 seconds literally to remove that stuff, and I'm ready to go. And that is, but you know, I understand not everyone wants to do that. I could have done it upstairs in the spare room, but there is that was turned into an office, so I may have to review that. You know, remove the office furniture from the spare room and make that into a gym so I can have the front room back. But yeah, so that's literally all it takes. So in an area like this, with all those rubber matting down, it's perfect. If you have a spare room that you don't use, that is exactly what you need. That's all you need. And then you can do anything. All you have to do is step into the room and get the exercise going. So there you have it. That is the amount of space that you need to exercise. Nothing more, nothing less. So don't let that be an excuse. I'm sure you can come up with better excuses than that. But if you run them by me, I probably heard them already. So don't use that. So that's pretty much all I have for you. And I hope you find that useful. And that it helps you reconsider if you're considering redesigning your home or rearranging. I hope that's given you a few pointers, a few ideas, a few options that you may want to consider. And if you want to find out more about what I do, I suggest there's two easy ways that you can do that. One is follow me on Facebook, on my personal profile, which I'll put the link under here, because I don't do groups on Facebook, I don't do pages, I just post everything on my personal profile. Or alternatively, you can follow me on Instagram. My handle is at too old to tumble. And if you like what you see and what you hear, sometimes I go live on Facebook and or Instagram. And if you like what you see, what you hear, and you want to find out more about how we can work together, just reach out, send me a direct message. Let me know that you found me through Jane, and then we can have a chat and we can take it from there. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you again very soon. Bye.